What's going on, everyone? It's Token, and we are finally back with some VGC Climbing the Ladder. So I hope you guys do end up enjoying today's episode, as we finally have our brand new team that we built in our Showdown Live on Monday. And this is going to be our Driftloom Lele team, the archetype that we did want to build around and did win Melbourne Regionals. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding that whole Melbourne Regionals, Melbourne Internationals. But there's a lot of controversy surrounding that whole event and everything. But I still think it's a very strong duo, and it wouldn't have made it that far without being a very strong duo. And then we do have Garchomp, Snorlax, Metagross, and Celesteela to round out the team. What was I about to say? Oh, sorry that this episode did not go up yesterday, but that is due to the fact that my team was actually ginned incorrectly by a friend of mine. Unfortunately, I felt like I was relying on my main ginner a little bit too much, and I didn't want to be a bother. I just did not want to be a bother, so I decided I'd go with someone else just to give my usual ginner a break, but unfortunately they didn't gin the team correctly, so I do think I'll just be sticking with my good friend Salty usually for ginning help, just so that we can avoid any issues like that, as it just throws off the flow of the videos and everything. So sorry because I did promise on Monday that the episode would be up on Tuesday, but unfortunately it's Wednesday and the episode's going up now, but it's all good. So yeah, I'm excited to finally use this archetype, so let's just say yes, and let's get right into some battles with this team. I do not recall where we are in the ladder. 1636. Alright, that's okay. That's okay. Nothing really to brag about, but it's okay. Hopefully we can climb back up on there. Haven't really been laddering or anything in a while though, so might have to shake a little bit of rust off. Anyways, we're gonna get an opponent named Silver. They're going to have a team of Garchomp, Tapu Koko, Arcanine, Mandibuzz, Kartana, and Tapu Lele. Excuse me. So right off the bat, Mandibuzz Lele seems like a possible lead. That seems like a very possible and likely lead to deal with our powerful duo in Driftloom and Lele. We're still gonna rock out with that. Definitely still gonna rock out with those two. Then we're going to go with let's go Snorlax. Snorlax doesn't seem bad. Snorlax and Garchomp, or Snorlax and Celesteela. Definitely gonna bring Snorlax. Now it's just between Garchomp or Celesteela. I don't really like Metagross on this one. I don't feel like it helps too much in this one, unfortunately. But Garchomp or Celesteela. Because I really dislike Garchomp's mirrors with our Garchomp. I like really dislike the Garchomp mirror. So we'll have to be careful. Yeah, I guess I'll still go with Garchomp though, because I feel like my opponent's definitely gonna lead with that Mandibuzz Mandibuzz and Tapu Lele, and if they're going to lead with those two, then Arcanine's going to be a likely Pokemon in the back for them. I want to have one of the best possible answers for that, and that would be our Garchomp, pretty obviously. So we're going to rock out with that, and we'll see exactly how this one goes. Do you think my audio is a little low? And I'm not particularly sure why. Do you think it's just a tad bit low? Configure with the sound settings really quickly. Oh, no, it's not low. I know the issue. I just have my headphones in pretty low. That's the only issue. Anyways, though, our opponent's going to lead with an Arcanine Tapu Lele lead. So I actually did lead with that Arcanine, interesting enough. So we could double up into Tapu Lele and take it out right here and right now. We could set up Tailwind, predicting that one of these two will want to protect. Yeah, I'm actually going to Tailwind and Psychic the Arcanine. If it protects, that's fine. As Lele withdraws, interestingly enough, as we are able to get up our Tailwind, and Lele will be coming, Mandibuzz will be coming in now, which is great for us. So we will Psychic into Arcanine. Should do hefty damage. Does pretty good damage. And Arcanine will actually go for a Wild Charge. I'm actually pretty fine with that. So I'm just going to Shadow Ball Arcanine, and I am going to Moonblast the Mandibuzz. Can't really stop it from setting up a Tailwind, unfortunately. Can't stop that. But 2 Moonblast usually is a 2-hit KO on Mandibuzz, even if it does have its own Psychic Seed. So hopefully we can manage to 2-hit KO this Mandibuzz, and then we should still be in a pretty decent position, considering that the Arcanine's on such a low amount of health. So my opponent will either have to switch it out or just allow it to go down, as Arcanine is withdrawing, hopefully for that Lele, and it is for Lele, so we'll get a very, very, very nice Shadow Ball off on Lele. Right into that Lele slot. That's beautiful. That is solid damage. Oh, we got a crit. Okay, I was thinking that was a little bit more hefty damage than Drift Blim usually dishes out. I will never stop calling Drift Loom. I hate myself for that. I will never be able to overcome it. Alright, anyways though, our Drift Blim is going to be able to outspeed Lele this turn, considering we're the fastest thing on the field. That's what Drift Blim is known for, being the fastest mon on the field, even when Tailwind is set up by your opponent. So now exactly what we'll be able to do here is just proceed to Shadow Ball and Moonblast. We Shadow Ball into the Tapu Lele, and we Moonblast into Mandibuzz. Another Moonblast will take out Mandibuzz. We still are faster than Mandibuzz with both of our Pokemon, considering we do have that Tailwind up, and Mandibuzz usually do not carry Protect, so that's also really nice. And then Tapu Lele is heavily threatened by another Shadow Ball, considering we did get that crit, so that's really unfortunate for my opponent, as otherwise I'm not sure we would have put it in such a low position. But either way, we take those. Every day we take those, and we will Moonblast into this Mandibuzz, as we did Shadow Ball into a Protect, very predictable Protect, and we will get rid of the Mandibuzz, so that's great. Our opponent has 2 pretty weakened Pokemon in a bad position, but fortunate for them though, they did set up their Tailwind to turn after us though, so we will have to keep our eye out on those Tailwind turns to make sure that we don't put ourselves in a pretty bad position when Tailwind does peter out. So here, my opponent's in a prime position to be able to get rid of either Pokemon they so choose, likely with Coco. Thunderbolt, maybe even into Lele, will likely take it out at this point. However, though, I'm not going to protect either our Pokemon. The fastest Pokemon on the field is definitely still Drift Blim, and Drift Blim, unless that's a Scarf Coco, which would be absurd, but Drift Blim is going to be able to take out Lele or that Arcanine coming in, as Arcanine is going to come in, so we will be taking out the Arcanine, and that is more than fine with me, as once Lele comes back in, then that's going to hurt my opponent's Thunderbolts. They're not going to be as powerful. We will be taking out the Arcanine, which is very nice, and we'll see which of these 2 Pokemon my opponent decided to prioritize taking out. Likely the Lele. I could see a Thunderbolt on Lele. Yeah, Thunderbolt on Lele, and that will take us out. So I could have definitely protected Lele and maybe put us in a little bit better of a position if I would have protected it. However, though, I'm fine with the results that did come out from that. We are fine, we are fine. So now's an interesting position in the fact that my opponent does have that weakened Lele, and they also have a Tapu Koko on the field. So exactly what I'm thinking here is that my opponent still has their last turn of Tailwind up, so they kind of want to benefit from it. That does not mean that they won't protect their Lele though. However, though, I'm going to play with in mind with the fact that they will likely protect their Lele. So, well, I mean that they will likely not protect their Lele, even though there's a huge chance that they will protect it. If they don't, I think we can win this game, as Lele does protect. My opponent did realize that they can't lose Lele here, so smart decision on my opponent's end, as they do Thunderbolt likely into Snorlax, into the Drift Blim slot, which is perfectly fine by me. Snorlax will return into a protecting Lele, but that is fine. That is perfectly fine. We do have Garchomp in the back, and that's why I didn't really feel any need to prioritize attacking into that Coco slot, even though I thought Lele had a pretty good chance of protecting because of the fact that I can just protect. I can now just protect Garchomp, and even if my opponent doubles into Snorlax, we will be able to live both of those hits because of the Figgy Berry, and we will take out Lele with a return. And then Garchomp, unless my opponent is Fairyum Z, will not be able to be taken out by the Koko. And we should get a win here. So we'll protect Garchomp, and we'll see if my opponent crits us or something wild, and we'll see if we could live being double targeted. So my opponent is smart. They do go for the Thunderbolt. And we will see. Okay, they did get a paralyzation on that Thunderbolt. So that puts us in a little sticky of a position. Thankfully, though, they did Moonblast into Garchomp. And thankfully, we don't get a first turn para either. So that is beautiful. That'll put us in a prime position to be able to win this game. So we will just ground DMZ into Tapu Koko. And do I set one up? I think I do. And we'll actually set up a curse with Snorlax. As the match was just forfeited by my opponent, seeing as they didn't really have any chance of winning that. So they were not Fairyum Z Tapu Koko. That would have gave them their only shot, I guess, in hoping for pairs with Snorlax. But we were in a pretty solid position there. So not bad at all. Already seen the real strengths of this team as it puts so much pressure on your opponent. Really, the Lele Drifblim archetype just puts so much pressure on your opponent. It's really strong, honestly. It's really strong. So alright, we're just going to grab another game and hope that we can continue to snag another win. So we can just snag another win and continue to show off the high points of this team. This late at night, though, you do have to... Well, there we go. We get a 1560 opponent from Tokyo, Japan, which is really cool. And they are going to have a QR code team of Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Kartana, Garchomp, Arcanine, and Mandibuzz. So, once again, my opponent has the option to lead with... Is this a team we just faced? Honestly, is this the team we just faced? But once again, my opponent has the option to lead with Tapu Lele and Mandibuzz. That's probably their best option in my opinion, honestly. We'll see exactly what they prioritize doing, though. We're going to still go with our staple lead, and we will once again have to make the tricky decision on exactly what we want to bring in the back. I once again do really like Snorlax in this matchup, and I once again do not like the possible Garchomp mirror matchup, considering that our Garchomp is more bulkier and slower. However, I do think that might be our best option. Yeah, especially if this opponent decides to actually bring Arcanine in the back. I would love to have Garchomp also in our back so that we can deal with that as adequately as possible. So, good luck to my opponent. We'll see exactly how this game goes. Alright, so this opponent does lead with the Mandibuzz Tapu Lele lead. We'll eat up that Psychic Seed, get our Unburden boost, and be primed to start dishing out damage. So obviously, my opponent can protect with Lele, but they cannot protect with Mandibuzz. So I am just going to set up a Tailwind and go for a Moonblast. If my opponent decides that they want to actually attack with their Tapu Lele, they will likely go for a Psychic on Drifblim, which is perfectly fine. I will then disable Psychic this following turn and proceed to go for another Moonblast on Mandibuzz. So that is my game plan. My opponent has the tricky decision, as always, in the fact that we may Shadow Ball and Moonblast into their Tapu Lele, so they will have to be very safe with that. My opponent does not protect their Tapu Lele, so we could have just knocked it out, but they decide to actually taunt, which I don't particularly agree with, because we already got the Tailwind up, and Now we're set in a position to just deal out damage. So we'll see exactly how my opponent plays around the fact that we can now Moonblast their Mandibuzz again, take it out, and we can also just Shadow Ball into their Lele and just do things we want to do. So we'll see exactly how my opponent decides to play around that. It would make a lot of sense if my opponent decided to withdraw that Mandibuzz at this point. That would make a lot of sense to me. So do we actually double into the Tapu Lele? Do we double into Lele? Yes, I'm actually going to make that play. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me, as Mandibuzz does withdraw, which was expected, into Arcanine, which was completely expected. So that's really nice. If we can also outspeed this Tapu Lele, then that's actually going to be beautiful. So we will get a Shadow Ball off into Lele, which does slightly under half. And we do have to take a Psychic, unfortunately, which will do a lot of damage to us, considering we are in Psychic terrain. And this is also a Life Orb Lele. We'll get a Moonblast off into Lele though, and hopefully this can maybe take it out. And it does take out Lele as expected, so that was a great play. Now we'll either get to see our opponent's last Pokemon, or we do get to see our opponent's final and last Pokemon. So actually I cannot put my finger on it as of right now. The taunt, there we go. The taunt actually makes a lot of sense now because of the fact that we can't burn that Garchomp now. And Garchomp's in a prime position to maybe start to dish out some hefty damage, maybe onto our Lele. To be completely honest, it would make a lot of sense for Garchomp to go for damage onto our Lele. So we are in a pretty tricky position, honestly. I'm actually just going to Moonblast into Garchomp though. I don't want Garchomp as Garchomp does protect, so that makes me a little disappointed in the fact that I decided to Moonblast into that slot. Smart play by our opponent. Do get another crit, unfortunately, for our opponent as we get a Wild Charge into the Drifblim slot, so that is fine. We now go right into our own Garchomp. And we go for the Ground DMZ on our opponent's Garchomp. And we protect our Lele. So this is going to be the last turn of Tailwind for both of us. We'll see exactly what my opponent decides to do. I could see them going for a Ground DMZ into our Lele, as we are a bulkier Lele. I'm not sure my opponent realizes that, but I could see them switching out Arcanine into Mandibuzz, or just staying in and trying to go for some sort of attack, as we will be protecting with Lele. And we will be Ground DMZing before our opponent goes for their attack with their Garchomp. So it looks like they're also a bulkier build, so this likely will not take out Garchomp. This likely will not take it out. We will get to see what exactly our opponent decided to go for though. That'll be very interesting. So we'll see exactly how much damage we can get off here. And alright, yeah, we won't be taking out the Garchomp. My opponent's also going for their Ground DMZ, so we might have actually Speed Tied there, which would be really interesting. And we're going to see exactly what they went for that into. Likely our own Garchomp as well. That would make a lot of sense, considering that. No, they went for it onto Lele, which I thought they did go for. I was thinking maybe on our Garchomp just for the fact of trying to keep their Arcanine alive more, but we did protect, and that was the point of protecting. My opponent also went for a Flare Blitz. I'm not sure I really understand also going for a Flare Blitz in that slot, considering that So we're going to Swords Dance up with our Garchomp, because why not? As my opponent does go for that Poison Jab into our Lele, which will take us out. Yeah, that definitely will take us out. So yes, we do definitely, I do think we're just a little bit faster than our opponent's Garchomp, which is great to know. That is great, great intel to have. So my opponent doesn't have the best way to damage us, unfortunately for them. So I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide, predicting the Mandibuzz to come in on a predicted EQ. So my opponent actually just protects their Garchomp, as we are going to get a +2 Rock Slide off on their Arcanine and proceed to go for a... As Arcanine actually avoids it and goes for the Bulldoze on us, so that's actually really nice for my opponent. That's actually a pretty big deal. I do think we'll definitely still win this game, but that's actually a pretty big deal. Considering the fact that Mandibuzz will likely be faster than us now, since we were a really bulkier build on our Garchomp, but we did get the curse up with Snorlax, and now I actually will just be protecting our Garchomp from the opposing Garchomp that did just protect, and we will return into that slot. So maybe the Swords Dance was a little bit of playing with fire, but I thought, why not? Why not? So we will protect, as my opponent did have the Dragon Claw for us, and we will be able to, as Arcanine will go for a pretty powerful Flare Blitz into us. We'll eat that up. Oh, we do get burned. Oh, this luck now. That's a little bit of luck. That's definitely just a little bit of luck. Alright, we'll take rough skin damage. We'll pop. I'll pop the good old Figgy. Our Ipapa Berry. I always forget which one we're running. But yeah, that burn can actually really come back to haunt us if this Mandibuzz turns out to be faster than our Garchomp. In the event that it's not faster than our Garchomp, then we're perfectly fine. We just need to hit Rock Slide. But in the event that it is faster, that's actually really bad. It's actually really bad. However, I will just go for another Rock Slide, and I will go for a return also on Mandibuzz, hoping that Mandibuzz is not faster than our Garchomp, as Arcanine's actually going to be faster than us, as it goes for another Flare Blitz into Snorlax. So if Arcanine's faster, I'm pretty sure Mandibuzz is faster, but it's not. But we do miss another Rock Slide, and we miss it on Mandibuzz. So now Mandibuzz might actually be able to... Mandibuzz actually might be able to stall out our Garchomp now, since we were unable to hit a Rock Slide not once but twice. Yeah, because the Foul Play will take us out, and unless this does enough damage to take out Mandibuzz, then it's going to be able to roost up, and we are going to be in a tricky situation. So Rock Slide really not coming through for us. Yes, and this Mandibuzz is going... Oh, it's going to live. Well, that is just awful. Well, sit tight, you're in for a long game, as we are going to be recycling up, hoping to get our Ipapa Berry back. This is just so unfortunate that we missed not one, but 2 Rock Slides. And we got burned with our Snorlax, as that would have obviously took out our opponent if we wouldn't have gotten burned there. So this is honestly really annoying, and this was the reason I took my break from Battlespot, because this was the luck I was having on Battlespot. So you can kind of understand where exactly I was coming from, as I love bringing you guys these episodes, but sometimes it becomes a little much for me. Sometimes Pokemon just really can really get to you when you make not all the correct plays, but when you make the correct plays and things just really don't go your way. Anyways, we will have recycled again, as our opponent went for another of those lovely roosts. We're gonna go for another curse. We are burned, so Foul Play shouldn't do too much damage. We'll see how much it does here. Oh, it's actually doing a lot of damage, and that's actually just going to become even more damage with another curse for us. So yeah, that's actually not good. The only, like, we need to stall out the foul plays. I mean, not the foul plays. We need to stall out the roost that Mandibuzz is able to go for. Another foul play will be coming our way, so we will recycle again. We'll get our health back up, and we will cycle back up. Actually, yeah, I think we actually might be stalling out the foul plays and not the roost at this point, because once my opponent is out of foul plays, then we can actually win this game. I'm not sure we have more recycles than they have foul plays though, so this might turn into a interesting situation. We'll go for another recycle, as it should throw us below half again. I'm pretty sure it will, and yes, it will. Now we're at a really good amount of health though, so I do think we can actually go for a return this turn and actually get a little bit of damage off on Mandibuzz. That just ever so slightly still brings us into range of the foul play. Do think we can return here. And we actually get a crit, so that's not a huge deal, but that's actually pretty nice. Now we definitely go for another recycle, as my opponent might just roost. No, they go for another foul play, trying to get us to just attack again. We won't be doing that though. Go for another recycle, and we're just pretty much stalling out these foul plays. That's our only way of winning, and I literally would have just forfeited if I thought that we didn't deserve this game. I do think we really do deserve this game, so that's the only reason why I am playing it out. And I will just go for another recycle because Mandibuzz will go for another foul play. So I'm actually, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to look on my phone and try to see how many of these foul plays does Mandibuzz get. Is this actually worth stalling out? And max is 24. So we have 16 recycles, and he has a max, and he has 24. And he did use 1 on the guard chomp. So if we use all 16, he's gonna have a whole 7 left over. Yeah, this may be a losing cause, honestly. Yeah, we may be fighting a losing battle here, now that I think about it. Because of the fact that he has 8 more of the foul plays than we have recycles. So that's pretty unfortunate. Here I do think we're at a good amount of health again, and I'm actually going to attack again, and if we can get a crit, which kind of do deserve, then we, oh, as my opponent does finally go for the roost. They decided it was finally time to roost back up. That's really unfortunate for us as we finally went for the attack. I'm actually going to attack again, as we do have our berry. So I actually may, if I just start to attack a little bit, because now Mandibuzz is absolutely forced to roost up again, and that's going to put us in a position where we can definitely just recycle again. Yes, Mandibuzz does have to roost. We recycle. And then we go for damage again. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. Alright, well that one really stung because we did everything we should have done to have won that game, and just wasn't there. Just wasn't meant to be. Anyways though, this episode's already a little bit lengthier than I would have liked. Thank you guys so much for tuning in into today's episode of VGC Climbing the Ladder. If you did enjoy yourselves, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. It's all up to you guys. I'm just here to bring these videos. Thank you so much though. I really do appreciate the support. I'm going to get the heck out of here, guys. I'll see you in the next one. But now though, peace out. Have a good one.